no picture.
Did you restart it? 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, 3 times I've done
It's
it.
not on at all right now.
I didn't build this thing.
Oh, is it? All right, cool. Is the audio working?
Well, there's not picture.
No, that doesn't matter though. At least as long as we have audio. Again, what are they doing? Staring at us, sitting here. It's not.
Yeah, that way they can accuse us of trying to sneak something through.
Yeah, we might as well just leave the audio running. If the video is what it is.
I still have
Nobody's on 7, 8, or 9 mics, right?
Nope.
Okay. Well,
2.
we have to go without a picture.
All right, you guys ready then?
Yep.
I'd like to call the village board meeting to order. Everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call and open meeting law compliance check.
President Jeff Millies.
Here.
Trustee Jay Pecca.
Here.
Trustee Gary Finch.
Here.
Trustee Dylan Newman.
Here.
Trustee Jim Hirth.
Here.
Mr. President, note for the record, you do have a quorum of your village board and you're in full compliance with the open meetings law.
Public comments, I'd like to remind everybody, we have rule of 3 minutes. Also, if everybody's here for the Breck development, we've been talking about this last few meetings. We did send a resolution over by unanimously vote over to Big Ben opposing it. So if anybody has some new information or ideas, please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Helen Owens, W242S6272 Elder Air Drive, Village of Waukesha. I'm not real familiar with how politics works in small government or big government, but I'm wondering if it's possible for the villages of Vernon and Waukesha boards to get together, since your constituents are affected by this and we don't really seem to have a voice, but maybe if you got together and hired a lawyer to represent your people, that would possibly get us somewhere. Thanks.
Thank you.
Pardon? Helen Owens, Owens. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Randy St. Lawrence. I live at S64 W24615 Susan Street. I'm going to echo off or segue off about her comment about hiring an attorney. There are municipal litigation attorneys that are available in Madison and other areas throughout the state. Rather than sit back and wait for the Village of Big Bend to publish their information on the DNR report, I would like us to be more proactive and hire someone to look at all this information and possibly object to it. So I was just wondering if we've considered doing that.
Thank you.
My name is Brenda Jones, W238S7925 Sunset View Drive in Big Bend. You recently heard me speak at the last meeting on February 19th regarding my experiences traveling to athletic complexes around the United States. The purpose of my being at that meeting was not to speak about the Breck complex, but as I sat there, it was quite disheartening and almost alarming to hear the commentary and conversations that took place at that meeting. The public comment was full of rhetoric and false assumptions without any real data to support. It was quite evident how unprepared our community is for the pending development that is coming, whether it's a sports complex or any other type of growth. The village of Vernon is located in the most populated and growing region of the state. To believe that the village can continue to exist as it did for the past 50 years is not a realistic possibility. Communities all around us are expanding with new development. We have Waukesha to the north, Muskego to the east, Waterford to the south, and McWanago to the west, and now Big Bend in our backyard. If this village does not prepare and position itself to be able to take advantage of that growth, it will be left behind, struggling as it is forced into a costly model of operations. The village is already struggling to provide services, hire and retain employees, and fix its infrastructure and equipment. Having lived in the community for over 19 years, I have watched repeated employee turnover, failed searches, lost land to annexations, reduced services such as brush pickup and timely snow plowing, and the inability to address issues with the village-owned assets such as the fire station, town hall, and aging equipment. I do believe outsourcing the recreation program to the town of McWanago was a good thing, because ours was a bit dismal program. A quick look at the financials of the village does not show sufficient capital reserve to provide insurance that equipment or facilities could be fixed or replaced timely. We should not be needing to borrow money to replace video and audio system, which will be obsolete before that loan is paid off. I read through the Smart Growth Comprehensive Plan that's on our website that was created in 2007 and amended in 2012. It is quite clear that that plan is outdated with ideas that are no longer relevant. The primary focus is creating large-scale urban office space when in a post-COVID era, many employees now work remote and such buildings stand empty. Perhaps it's a good thing that that plan did not advance. In addition, the report notes that throughout the report that the lack of amenities such as municipal sewer services will prevent any such development. So we have a document that states we have a plan, but we will never achieve that plan. It's time to wake up. The red flags are there. This village is in trouble, and you as a board need to stop ignoring the signs. A community that is almost entirely residential and agricultural is one of the most expensive models to support for its residents. Without business or other revenue streams, the tax burden will fall directly on the residents. It's only a matter of time before the rising costs of services and failing physical structures and equipment force the tax rates to rise significantly. Trustee Hirth, I'm going to correct you on comments you made at that last meeting. During that meeting, you spoke directly at me, reciting the current populations of the cities I had noted during my commentary. You stated that those cities already had the resources to support the complexes that were built there. I chose not to challenge you, as the proper protocol is that there will not be conversations with the trustees during the meeting, something others in this village need to learn. Trustee Hirth, you unfortunately failed to do something as simple as verify your facts and look at all the data. If you recall, I had stated that I watched those communities grow and revitalize. Yes, Westfield, Indiana is currently at a population of 60,000 people. If you had spent as little as 30 seconds searching on the internet, you would have found that in the year 2000, census data indicates that Westfield was a town and only had 9,200 people, not much bigger than us. By 2007, 7 years later, when the concept of the sports complex was first considered, the population started to grow, and in 2008 is when they actually became a city. Since then, the growth has been exponential, reaching today's population of 60,000 people. That is 50,000 people in 25 years that they grew by. And even you, Trustee Hirth, would not be able to state that the community resources in 2007, when the complex was being discussed, are even close to the scale that they are today. And by the way, the village of Vernon during that time has maybe grown by 500 people. The total acreage has decreased, and industry and business have all but disappeared due to the annexations. That sports complex in Westfield was a key driver that brought tourism dollars to a city that took advantage of an opportunity and used it to help grow its community and enhance its amenities for its residents. To reemphasize my previous comments about the impact that can have on a community, I will still point to Grand Park Sports Complex in Westfield, Indiana, as it was a major spark in that growth. And while it's of much grander scale than the village of Big Bend is considering, it has a lot of parallels. So I'm going to finish with these words. A good leader may need to make tough decisions that are not always popular. You, as our village trustees, need to do your homework and consider all the facts and not just the emotions. As leaders of this village, you are responsible for making the right decisions for this community, and I suggest you take a step back, take a good hard look at what is happening all around us, and find a way to prepare this community for what is to come. Put this village in the driver's seat instead of always being reactive to the actions of the community around us.
Thank you. Any more public comments?
My name is Walter Owens. I live at W242S6272 Elder Air Drive, and that's in the town of Vernon, or Waukesha. No disrespect to the lady that just spoke. The thing is, these communities are not set up for this situation here with this kind of complex. You take this complex and you move it down I-43, if another town or two, you got open structure, you got infrastructure that's already set up and ready to come in. You can come in from any place in the country up I-43. You just got to take it farther west of here. And the thing is, the way this complex is going to demolish this neighborhood, it has nothing to do with us. It's all to do with the person that's investing in it. That's all it is. We're not going to see nothing out of it. And you know, they show these pictures, which we were. I don't even want to get into that. The last meeting that we had, and you know, they shove us in a firehouse and you know put the smoke in on us, and then don't even have proper representation with speaking or the videos itself. The videos show right from the start that you have little kids playing baseball or playing soccer. It has nothing to do with that. This is for the Ivy Leagues. This is for the people that are going to be growing up and they're going to be going pro. That's all it's for. So I am a hunter. I pay for my own sport. I pay for my own fishing. Why do I have to pay for a baseball diamond and all this other crap that's going in with it? Just like we're still paying for the stadium down in Milwaukee. Why? If you want that sport, you invest your money into that sport. I got to pay for my own sport. You know, I mean, we don't have motocross tracks here anymore. We don't have any car racing hardly at all anymore. And, you know, they're getting anything that makes a little bit of noise. Well, you think this complex isn't going to make a little bit of noise? Come over and join us. I mean, you need to sit there one night. And if I only live a half mile away from Kelly's Bleacher, and I can hear everything that goes on at Kelly's Bleacher when there's a baseball game going on. That's a long ways away. But you got to stop and think. When it's country, you can hear a long ways away because there's nothing to block it. And there ain't any concrete walls up against those, you know, blocking that structure in at all. So I don't know. I just feel that this complex needs to be moved down the line and let this guy that is supposed to be so big with his pockets that we've come up with information that this gentleman has been not paying his bills. So I don't know if you want that on your head too. Then all of a sudden this complex is going to go partially up and then we're going to get stuck with the bills for the whole rest of the works. I don't feel this is the time or where we should be spending our money. Thank you much for your time.
Good evening, board. Been here twice. Don't like coming here, but here I am again. The lady again, she has some great comments or whatever. And, Al White, West 245, South 6010 Red Wing Drive. Thanks. Sorry about that. I know this project might bring revenue eventually to Big Bend. But like she had said, quote, she said, they used to be a town, now they're a city. I'm sure they don't want to make our villages into a city, I can tell you that. We're a rural area, expected in the rural area, been farm fields all our life. We're not turning us all into a city. Let's stay rural. I'd rather have 5-acre lots versus 1-acre lots out here, in my opinion, okay? I'm an outdoor guy, live outdoors, and let's keep it rural as much as we possibly can. The comprehensive plan that most people have, that you guys have, we all have, says you make your joining properties or your zoning neighbors be more compatible to each other. And I think that zoning that they're changing doing is not compatible to the area that's going there. I think we've had that discussion before. It's not compatible to where they're putting it. Big Bend people they're all for it, that's fine. If some are, some aren't. But the deal is the Big Bend people don't realize that the Waukesha and the Vernon residents, they're the ones that are gonna be affected. They're the only ones that are gonna be affected. There's not a resident in Big Bend residents gonna be infected, not one damn person. Okay? We have Vernon people and Waukesha people that are gonna be infected. Those people have been there for 40, 50, 60 years. We've all heard comments on that in past meetings. And I think these people that have been there should have a right, a big right, and good say so what's going on in this development. I think it's huge for these people. And Big Bend don't care about us, or they don't care about the Vernon people, their residents. And I feel bad for the people that own those properties, that they're gonna lose their property, their value, their homesteads, or whatever they have for the rest of their lives, that they're gonna retire on, or thought they were gonna retire on. Now they probably won't. That's all I have. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Michelle Risto, W237S6830 Fernwood Drive. Going forward with, the opposition, as you guys all have, is there a way to figure out, because it looks like Big Bend wants to change a lot of their ordinances to fit this facility. Is there I don't know how ordinances work. I don't know how they can change them, but from what I've read, the ordinances, they can't change them every couple of years. And I believe they changed one of their ordinances regarding building heights recently, and I think they want to change it again. And they also are needing to put in 85-foot lights. So I would assume that's under their building ordinances. So I just want to make sure that, you guys are double checking that they're doing things in order. And also they did post on the Village of Big Bend some of the results of some of the studies that were done. And not 100% sure that those are actually valid studies, because they weren't actually done by, you know, like the DNR or anything like that. They were just done by manufacturers of products that they're going to be using, and the builders as well. So I don't believe that the studies that they actually were supposed to get were actually done by a legitimate party. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more public comments? Any public comments? Last chance for public comments. Okay, hearing no more public comments. Moving on to miscellaneous matters. Proposed park development in the village of Big Bend on Town Line Skyline, Big Bend Drive, and south of 164. All right, guys, we've had this on the agenda the last few meetings. We've done pretty much everything we can as a village. This isn't Big Bend. It's not in Vernon. We have no jurisdiction, no control over it. We are not paying any of the bills for any of this stuff. It's not affecting us, for any money in any way. All we can do is keep opposing it, letting our voices known. The biggest thing I think needs to take place is Big Bend residents need to come to the meeting and really question the infrastructure. I don't know how they're gonna afford sewer and water. And with only they have 1,500 residents, give or take, and $15 million price tag, that is a big expense before you start seeing any type of revenue coming in from all the businesses that can go in once there's sewer and water. I don't know if the residents of Big Bend realize that or not. They just think their property taxes are gonna go down, when in fact, they're gonna go up substantially before they see any relief from this, any developments. Anybody else have any other comments? As far as us getting on board with it, it's not us. It's all privately owned land around it. If those landowners want to develop it, once it goes in, they can come to the village board then for approval of this. But without sewer and water, there's not a lot of development that can take place in Vernon. That's one of the key lacking infrastructures for development. You know, as the comment goes, with Act 15 went through, that really tied our hands in raising property taxes. We can only raise taxes based on spending money on capital for borrowing. We just can't keep upping the mill rate as needed. Our hands are tied by state law. That's why we borrow for capital instead of taking it out of our operating budget, because the money's not there.
Right.
Anything else?
I always thought I appreciate all the feelings you guys have because I have feelings like you. But you need to go to Big Bend. You need to go to their meetings. They're the ones that you need to bitch at. They're the ones that's going to have the most influence. We can't stop these people. Unless they finally put the lights and noise up and somehow we can get ordinances or something to keep them shut up. Until then, we're kind of helpless. So we're planning on looking at going over to a meeting as a group and seeing what we can do over there. But I mean, this is the way I look at it, and I think most of us here all feel about the same way on this too. So I think Big Bend would be a good place to spend your time.
We would love to help. We would, but
Yeah.
our hands are tied.
All right, moving on to the Vernon Village Board attending the March 19th, 2026 Village of Big Bend meeting in the proposed Breck development in Big Bend on Town Line Skyline, Big Bend Drive and south of 164. That meeting is now being held at Christ Lutheran, their gymnasium.
What?
Yeah, I think it's in a gymnasium. So hopefully the situation will be a little bit better than last time. I plan on attending. I don't know if you guys are gonna show up or not, but
Well, I was planning on attending. So I think it'd be, at least you gotta go and see how they interact and everything together.
all that and see if they're trying to follow the rules and
Right.
do things properly.
Yeah. That's an important thing too. I agree.
All right, so if we attend, we need to change our next board meeting on the 19th, since we'll be in Big Bend. What,
What about the 18th?
you can do a
Board.
Wednesday night work for people?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, because we usually do a Wednesday night for a planning commission. So we'll have 2 Wednesdays in a row and then we'll go over to the board meeting.
That's
Right.
fine with me.
Yep.
Is there a motion to change the meeting from the 19th to the 18th?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
You
All
got it.
in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes unanimously. Our advanced life support with the Village of Waukesha. That was in your packet. That is the same agreement we have with all the other communities. Just clarifying that if we provide ALS and are not involved in the transport of the patient, we get paid that set fee. All the other, if we're using our ambulance, that automatically is billed the insurance company who transport the patient. This is just making sure now we're getting paid for the ALS portion of it with Waukesha.
Okay.
So in good faith, I don't like this agreement. Seeing as we haven't gotten a single dime from the villages thus far of Waukesha. So I don't know what the sense of signing an agreement is if they haven't paid the current one. And I'm curious to see how far that goes back that they haven't paid. I think we should up the charge from $450 to $600, and then I think we should change the language that if we get called, if our ambulance leaves or our intercept leaves the station, we get paid from the village, whether it's Big Bend, Waukesha. The 450 has been the same for how many years? Everything is going up. We spend a lot of time in the village of Waukesha, and the numbers that I saw as of last year are pretty unacceptable for the percentages to other municipalities. There is a fine line with mutual aid and intercept, and I get that, but that 40% number is a little catastrophic, in my opinion, for our fire department in a little village to be out in other municipalities that much. It's wear and tear on our vehicles. Are we getting paid? No. So I'd be curious to,
Well, we're getting paid if we're definitely doing the ambulance transport. That goes, we bill that through the insurance and
correct.
we get paid for that. It's not like there's no money coming in.
But the intercept, I mean, add those all up. If this,
But yeah, I'm not sure how many, we don't have a breakdown of how many are ALS intercepts versus just a regular, they're not available.
no. Well, if we haven't received one in ever, then that's telling. I mean, there's definitely have been an ALS, I'm sure. So something's going on there,
Yeah.
and we need to get to the bottom of that pretty quickly.
I do agree. We need to look at the rates. We're talking with, who's the provider? EMS.
EMS, MC.
They're, because the other problem is too, with Medicare and Medicaid, they knock down their rates so much, you don't get much from doing a service, compared to private insurance. So we need to look at see if we can adjust those rates. I mean, that's an ongoing thing because.
In language, I think that language needs to change, because why? It's our tax dollars. It's our people's tax dollars that, Village of Waukesha can go get intercept, paramedic intercept, and they can pay for it. We pay for it. We should, there's got to be something there, in my opinion. So I would like to see the language change where if we get called and we leave the station, it's a bill to Waukesha, Big Bend, Waterford, whoever, I understand people say it's a standard. Well, sometimes the standard isn't standard anymore. We can create our new standard.
What percentage of ambulance calls in Vernon are serviced by the other communities that have to come in here because we're busy or something?
To us?
Yeah.
Minimal compared to how much
No,
we,
it's
I don't know that number off the top of my head.
So we'd pay them the same too, right?
Well,
We get $600.
yeah, but
They come into our area.
it would be,
It'd be the same, right?
who would it be? McGuanago?
Well, the
In
problem
theory.
is we have one of the better paramedic services in the area.
Right.
The idea
With
is
the
that
ALS,
we'd
a lot of
be
other
getting paid a
communities
lot more than they would.
Yeah.
Don't have that.
Oh, yeah.
And the idea is to keep in-house, right? I mean, we have the staffing to keep it, take care of our own calls. If we weren't, and we see simultaneous calls, right? Well, how many times are we in another community when somebody in our community that's just not acceptable to me.
If you look at it too, with the additional calls, that's possible additional revenue versus them sitting at the station not on a call. So
Right.
basically it's costing us wear and tear on our vehicles.
Yeah.
But hopefully we're being reimbursed that it's actually getting money from the insurance company.
And we know you're correct. And we know we haven't from ALS or from paramedic intercept. We have not.
On the advanced ALS, there's been no additional
Reimbursement. Yep.
for that.
Yeah, I think that needs to be addressed before we sign any other agreements.
That makes sense.
I think we should be compensated. fairly.
Well, this is what this agreement is doing.
Yep.
So we get compensated in the future for it.
Do we not have this agreement in the past?
It's been in place for several years and we haven't received anything.
And I would also go ahead.
I mean, I did get that from the clerk because I can't get our agreed insurance, our billing company to answer the questions. You can see when Big Bend pays us. It isn't very often, but they pay us for.
Quantico versus us, even though we're closer.
Was anybody contacted about this contract? Or what the rush is, or what transpired? Did they contact you? And the only thing I would advise the board, and I mean, I could compile the statistics, but if you look at the Village of Waukesha's mutual aid reports and how often they're here, that'll open up your eyes.
It's, yeah.
They're here, we're there a lot.
Yeah, I know.
A
And
lot.
I've seen it in the call rates and stuff.
I want to know if we can back charge. If we do find, if there's a way we can find out how many calls, ALS, calls we had to these communities. If we can, if the agreement's been in place for several years and we haven't received a dime, we should be entitled to that reimbursement if we haven't collected. How does that fall on the billing company? Does that fall on the fire department personnel who's entering it incorrectly? I don't know. And those are questions that we need to, figure out fairly quickly so this doesn't continue to happen.
That's what the chief said at the last meeting. So the chief had indicated it's the personnel that code what municipality it is and what level of response.
And we do have a person reviewing all the calls versus being paid and trying to see if it all matches up.
Well, she hasn't started yet.
Well,
Yeah, she's
we're-
working on
yes,
it.
yeah. So,
Do we have a mutual aid agreement too?
No,
Is
I've
that just
never
a-
seen a mutual, that's an unwritten with police and fire. Mutual aid is always extended, maybe not at the levels it is.
No, I think we need to have a conversation with that too. The extent of it.
You might want to wait too, because you gave the authority to the president to send letters out to all the adjoining municipalities, and they are responding back, and you might want to, I mean, there's no rush. This has been in place for 4 years, but you might want to see what other communities are proposing for Vernon.
Yeah.
Nobody on fire and EMS.
Oh, they're coming.
I haven't heard anybody on that one yet.
Well, they have to take it to, you just sent the letters out. I mean, they have to go to their boards or their personnel. I mean, it's government. They don't.
I did talk to Waukesha, and they said he was just doing some rough figure at the top of his head. He goes, "It's going to cost us over $200,000 to help support the night shift where they're lacking."
Yeah.
And he goes, "We don't have the money for that in the budget." So he was against
Of
doing anything,
Of
you know. But,
course, because he's getting it for free,
Right.
so I don't know what the legal recourse is if you say no, we're not serving mutual aid anymore to other communities.
I think we could restrict it a little bit.
Well, it's either all or nothing.
Yeah,
I-
How do you
it is.
say, okay,
It is.
you hit your 5 calls
gotta
and done
either
for the
do it or
month,
not.
or?
I mean, you can't get rid of it, obviously,
But
but we're going there too much. There's got to be something done. I don't know, I guess. But I would like to see a rush on this ALS issue with Waukesha, because that's very important.
I did tell the billing company you had a board meeting tonight and we needed that information, and no response.
Of course. Yeah.
That's
But
fine.
but at least the village clerk in Waukesha did respond to say, we haven't paid you anything for 4 years.
4?
Yeah, since we've had the contract, they've never paid any intercept call. They do have, I know for sure they have 2 paramedics, because Andy on their department's on our department.
Did they happen to answer whether they've been billed for anything?
Well, that would mean they'd make a payment.
Okay.
So it
Right.
either falls on our billing company or whoever's coding it.
I
Would be my, right?
I have no idea. That's one realm that,
yeah, because they were talking about even switching it where if it's ALS, we do the transport, so we're getting a full fee
Full book.
for it. Yeah.
Well, from the insurance company.
I think what's happening in the village of Waukesha is we have our people there 24/7, and our people can get there, and then their people are coming, so their people then take over.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you can't just let people.
Die.
Right. Be quite blunt about it. That's what
Right.
it comes down to. So, there's a certain obligation for human beings that you gotta take care of people, right?
And if you listen, even on the radio, if there's a significant accident, the response comes from all over,
Right.
Correct.
which is a
But-
blessing.
The village of Waukesha has a responsibility to protect their own people as well, and not rely solely on other communities to the extent that they are.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know the dynamics of the village of Waukesha's fire department personnel, or I don't know any of that information. I know they're not staffed like we are.
Yeah, it's all volunteer at night.
It's all part-time. There's no volunteer.
Well, no one's at the station at night.
Right.
From home,
On call, paid on whatever premise or whatever it is.
where we have.
People
staff
there.
at
We're
the
staff
station,
full-time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, staffing there.
It's expensive. That's why other small villages don't do it.
But there's also a reason we do it.
Just look at this year for the snow plowing. There have been nothing but complaints about the snow plowing this year. This last storm, I had a person call me saying salt trucks weren't out. They slid past their driveway. At the same point, I had another guy complaining, why are we out salting? This is gonna melt.
Mr. President, you're off the agenda item.
No, it's true, but I'm saying, we
Yeah.
get
Complaints,
something
yeah.
so minor like that. Imagine if we're not responding to calls where it's life, it could be life or death.
If the board wouldn't mind, I'll try to get some more information from Waukesha, the village of Waukesha, and talk to them and get some more information for you, because I don't know why this came to be, and neither do you. And not that it's a big deal, but I'll get some more information for you. Would that help?
Yeah, do we need
I
a
think
motion
all
to
the
table this?
information we can get is good, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
Do you need a
I didn't
motion to
see that.
table it?
Or just instruct staff to get more information related to the response and the calls, and
I think we can do that by consensus then.
yeah, that's fine. Or motion, whatever you want to do. I'll just try to get you some more information.
So this, do we vote on
No, if
I think
you,
we've all,
we all believe?
everybody want to nod at once?
yeah.
Agree to get some more information and have an agenda for next.
Next board meeting on the
Okay.
18th. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Responses from other communities on fire, EMS, and police service. The police service, I had Muskego responding right away. They're really interested. That's the only response I've received on.
You're getting something from the Maguanagos, I think.
Okay.
It's going through their committees.
Oh, it is going through their committee
Mhm.
now? Okay.
Nice.
I think New Berlin's talking about it too. But it always goes through, they have a process. It just, the mayor sends it.
So we're starting it early so we can get it all done before the end of the year here.
For
That's
budget
scram
season?
work. Yeah. Then the Waukesha County Police Service contract, that was in your packet, and some example to other communities for police service. I figured we gotta start working it, because they're question, okay, what do you guys want exactly?
Yeah.
And I said, let's kind of mirror what we did with Waukesha County for the last, she's been our 6th year.
Yeah.
You're going to eliminate the car though.
Eliminate the car?
Yeah, because the Waukesha contract, put a car, we pay for our Vernon squad car.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you get service from another municipality, it's going to have their name.
I'm totally fine with that.
Which is fine.
The other issue, dispatching, I mean, and citations, those are all other issues you'll have to talk about, with a contract.
Yeah, the other
Also.
question I had is, the municipality will be assessed a yearly charge for equipment. Just quite sure what they're referring to on that, but I think that should be at least built into the price that they quote us for.
The only equipment I'm aware that we had to buy for the sheriff's department was a specialized camera. That was several years ago.
In the car?
No, something that the officer, it wasn't a body camera, it was something that they use for
Okay.
investigation, or,
Yeah, they carry that at the car then?
I think so.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I don't know if we could start working on kind of mirroring the contract from Waukesha County and come up with our proposal and send it out.
Yeah, I'll tweak it a little bit, and then you guys can take a look at it on the 18th. Is that okay?
And we can make it
Sounds
with
good.
or without a car, depending on, whether they provide the car or whether we provide the car.
Well, if we
Two ways to
provide a
look at
car,
it.
there's a lot of maintenance involved. And
Oh, I know.
I'd rather see it out of our
So-
hands.
That's
and-
it.
That would be. that
Something
would be-
breaks down.
What was it, 60 grand from Big Ben for if we got a car, something like that? You were gonna charge 60,000?
I don't know that quote was entirely.
Yeah,
accurate
Yeah.
because
The math didn't even add up on their quote. Their quote didn't even mathematically add up.
No.
It was very confusing.
And it didn't add up.
Well, But I think just the cost of the car is about 60 grand. Now you got outfitted with lights and decals.
Or was the sheriff telling us that they could get the car for?
I think in general, most municipalities can get a discount on
Yeah.
like a police vehicle.
Not
I don't
that,
think
not
it's
that
much,
Not that
but-
it matters.
No, but I'd rather see whoever we contract with.
Provide
be
the vehicle.
responsible.
Yep.
I tend to
Responsible for the
agree because then
maintenance.
we aren't paying for even little things like the decals.
The decals. Maintenance, like you said.
I don't think anybody really cares what it says on the side of the vehicle. When
No.
they see red and blue, they're gonna pull over.
No, they just kind of question, why is the Muskego police, whatever municipality is driving through the village?
Yeah, we'll
That'd
get
be the
somebody
only-
like, you don't have
They're out,
jurisdiction."
they're out of your jurisdiction.
But when they're pulling you over, you don't know who's pulling you over.
Nope.
Right.
No.
All right, work on that for the next board meeting. Also, the Village of Waukesha, when I talked with them, they wanted discussion on possible sharing services with our DPW. Since we haven't discussed that, needed your board approval before I pursue that any farther.
Do they have an idea what kind of services?
No, I wanted to get together with our DPW and their DPW. There's a lot of stuff I think we do that they don't do, and I don't want to get into a situation where we're paying to do all the stuff in Waukesha and not getting reimbursed, or.
Yeah.
Because we tried doing an agreement it was quite a few years ago when John was still DPW director, and they didn't want to pay for John's wages and pay for a lot of the stuff that involved in combining services back then. So I don't have a lot of faith in going.
Two new boards, maybe. Maybe the discussion will be different.
Yeah, so we kind of got to get the DPW guys involved because I don't know what we have compared to what they have. And
I'm always open to hearing about it. I just, like you said, I don't want to get into a position where all of a sudden we're shouldering all the roads and
They contract most of they do some snow plowing, but they contract a lot of their snow plowing out. They don't do a lot of the work that our guys do on the roads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they replace culverts, do they?
I think they do.
Do they now? Okay.
Not the big ones, but the little culverts, by driveways.
How big are they? Do you have any clue?
It depends on the lay of the land. Us two, we all different culvert sizes depend.
No. Do you know how big their department is?
Two guys.
So I just need a motion authorizing me or allowing me to start discussion with them.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that motion.
Are they the ones with the brush chipper we rent, right?
No, that's the
No.
city of Waukesha.
Oh,
That's millions of dollars. The Village of Waukesha, whatever.
But I did hear they got a new brush chipper for small work.
We have one of those too.
Yeah.
We have a lot more equipment than they do.
Mhm.
I can
That's
get you
what we
that
need.
for the next meeting, all the equipment we have versus what they have.
That's why we need Brett involved.
Yeah.
Saying, okay, what can
Well,
we?
if he
what
thinks we
you
can
do,
benefit
what will
from
work,
it.
what's going to work or
Yeah.
not. All right, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes unanimously. Flooring for the Village of Vernon offices, hallway, bathrooms, and lunchroom.
Board members, can I ask you to table this item till the next meeting? I have to get one more thing I need to clarify on the quote. This would have to be bid out anyway, but there's something else I wanted to look into. So if you wouldn't mind, can we put this on the 18th?
Sure.
Sure.
We're not doing just the carpeting, huh? We're doing all the flooring.
The only office that has to be done is the deputy's office because it looked like somebody died on the carpet. It's disgusting. And I've had it cleaned and it smelled like dead fish after. I mean, it's awful.
Gotta quit putting the tape outline of Terry on the floor.
But when they were out measuring, I asked them to measure everything else. So, I mean, if you're looking at it, but there again, there's money. But if we could table it to the 18th, I would appreciate that.
Sure.
That wouldn't be a problem at all.
Everybody
All
agree?
right, moving on to correspondence, announcements, and reports. I have, we have the sheriff here. Sheriff, you wanna, anything for us or?
I
I'm not the normal Vernon contract deputy, so I don't think there is anything, so.
I kind of forgot about you in the corner, I'm sorry.
I wouldn't did.
Anybody have anything for him, concerns? Okay. All right, thank you. Be safe. I have nothing to add at this point. Let's go backwards. Trustee Earth, you have anything?
No.
Dylan?
Yeah, I'll do a little short one just because you went in reverse and, it wouldn't be right if I complained about it every time and now I get to go second. I just want to say that we are looking at every option on the table for the Big Bend Sports Complex. It's not something we've stopped looking at. While our hands are mostly tied, it's something we're still looking into. It's not a done deal. That's all.
Gary?
I'll ditto you. Because you've dittoed me before. I'll
Yeah.
ditto you.
Jay?
Well, if anybody's seen the Mondays or Tuesdays Freeman about that fire in Brookfield, that was a customer that I picked up for years. So I really ask if everybody would please check their smoke detectors and make sure that they have the adequate amount. Remember, code, I believe, is one in each bedroom, hallway, and living area. So if people could really check that, that would be great. I would not want to see a tragedy like that happen again. That's it.
Karen?
I just wanted to tell the public that our open book is going to be April 6th from 3 to 5 p.m. I'm sure we're going to have extended hours based upon open book because they are going to do a market revaluation. So anybody that has a change in their market value, their assessed value, they'll get a letter. And I know compared to the last assessors that we have, Cal is real good about meeting with people and giving all the comps. And then I just wanted to remind the public that Board of Review is going to be Monday, May 18th from 6 to 8 p.m. Absentee ballots for the next election are going to go out on the 17th of March. We have in-person voting on March 24th. I'm also going to be open on Saturday, March 28th from 8 till noon because a lot of people can't make our hours 8 to 3:30, so I'll do a Saturday. If they have to come at night, I'll come and meet people to vote too. So far, we have 475 absentee ballot requests so far. That's a lot of requests. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Moving on to finances. Accounts payable for March 5th, 2026, batch 202600305 in the amount of $112,429.42.
I'd like to make one statement here. That's a comma between 9 and the 4.
And we do have to add $25 because there was a $50 credit for a mailbox that was knocked down. It should have been 75, so the correct value is 112,454.42.
What is it again?
It's 112,454.42.
I'll make a motion to approve the accounts payable for batch 202600305 in the amount of $112,454.42.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes unanimously. And we have some manual checks. First one's for $844,104. That is for the new fire truck. Is there a motion to approve?
And the sound system.
Oh, no, that's, oh yeah, that's,
The sound system's in there. But
Yeah.
yeah, we forgot about it.
I'll make a motion to approve the manual checks for $844,104.
I'll second that one.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Then we have the settlement checks in the amount of $3,616,542.04.
Majority that's
I went-
McGonigal.
I went through there a couple of times. My eyes are spinning around.
Yeah, it's the only time you see checks that big.
Yeah, that's true. Not too often.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the settlement checks in that amount I stated. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any more discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to village board minutes, February 19th.
Yeah.
Long one. with the planning
Oh,
commission.
excuse me. Well, I went through them. I didn't see any problems with them,
I didn't either.
so I guess I'll make the motion to approve the February 19th, 2026 village board minutes.
I'll second.
The only thing I've got is we're talking about the plan commission meeting in the village board.
Yeah.
No, this is this is just the village board meeting.
This-
Oh, okay. I
Isn't
was
that
gonna
plan
say.
commission?
Plan
Well, I'm
commission
looking
was
at
the
the
11th.
meetings in the packet. That's why I asked. So I just got to scroll down further then. So never mind. You guys are all good.
Wait, I'm just checking the date of these meetings.
Yeah, February 19th was a board. February 11th,
Oh, yes. Okay.
Plan Commission. You'll see that next week or on tomorrow in the
Yeah.
packet.
I was looking at February 11th.
That's the one I was looking at too. So sorry about that.
All right, so the motion been made and seconded for the February 19th minutes. Any more discussion?
Did you say the 11th was in your packet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was on vacation. That shouldn't have gone in your packet because I wasn't done with those minutes yet.
Well, now you have your
Oh my
opportunity.
God. I can't. I got to look and see what you guys saw. And the poor public. Oh my God.
Hey, you get your opportunity.
Jeez.
Wait a minute, because then the next one goes.
The 23rd. That was a closed session.
I
That
don't
should.
think I have the minutes for the 19th. I thought the 11th was the 19th.
Yeah, that's what.
The
I was trying to-
23rd was a Zoom meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was the 19th in your packet?
I can't find it right now.
Well,
I can't get in.
what was I just looking at? Hang on. So,
Well, you have a motion made in
Uh,
second.
23rd was a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
that's
that
the
was a
February
short one.
11th one too.
Oh, it
I-
is.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wasn't. I don't think the 19th was in the packet.
No, because the 11th was in there with the plan commission.
Well, then you should vote on it, but not vote for it because it wasn't in your packet.
What was I reading, the 11th?
Yeah.
And those weren't even done. That was, like I said, I was in Florida on
All right, let's table the
19th.
19th.
Well, but you have to vote on the motion. Just all in favor and everybody say no.
Voted no.
Yeah, because you have a motion made and second and you have to take action on that motion.
So, all in favor?
No.
Nay.
No.
No.
Motion fails.
Okay. I think you can do the 23rd. That was a real
Yeah,
short.
23rd.
Yeah,
was-
that's in
that's a
there.
Zoom meeting. That was
There
Zoom
we
meeting.
That one I believe I will have to abstain from because I was at work.
Yep, it says you were excused absence. So is there a motion to approve the Zoom meeting from February 23rd?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Well, with one
Announcement.
one abstention.
I have
Oh,
to
one
abstain
abstention.
because I was at work.
Announcement of the next village meeting dates. We changed the March 19th meeting to the March 18th. March 19th will all be at board meeting in Big Bend. March 11th, we have village board and plan commission meeting for land use amendments and public hearing for proposed zoning code changes. And Karen went over the May 18th board review information. Do we have a finance this Wednesday?
Yes,
too?
at 5 o'clock.
Okay, finance it.
Yeah, I don't put all the committee meetings
Okay.
down.
Do we have to make the March 19th meeting at Big Bend
Oh, yes,
village meeting too?
it has to be noticed as a board meeting.
Yeah.
It's going to be noticed where you're not taking, you're there to collect information. You won't take any action.
No, I know. Okay.
But it's a quorum, so you still have to.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Seconded. It was a tie between Dylan.
Third.
You do it, Dylan.
All
It
in
doesn't matter.
favor?
I don't care.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Sorry about the camera. Like to blow it out.